You're all gonna get sued. You're all gonna owe me money.
This does open a Pandora's box for sure. And also keep in mind that some independent media outlets, like I would be shocked if Charlie Kirk didn't have insurance. And by the way, I wanted to bring insurance up as well because oftentimes media outlets have insurance for these types of lawsuits. That way they're not bankrupt if they lose a lawsuit, right? And so
Ana Kasparian shuts down Cenk and covers for Trump. So it's interesting that Ana Kasparian once again shuts down Cenk to go full MAGA, but she keeps giving people the opportunity to love her even more. And this is all about, when George Stephanopoulos have to pay Trump for defamation. And twice Ana Kasparian gives an argument of how this isn't as bad as what it seems and pretty much taking the side for Trump. Now, basically, Ana Kasparian also says that if there wasn't a case, the judge would have tossed it out. And it's also, it goes into a really big tangent and stuff with woke left, like Cenk with stuff would, be opposed to stuff like this. But there's, basically where Ana Kasparian is giving a full dissertation basically on what constitutes as that particular assault that they accuse Trump of doing. So let's go ahead and get into this discussion and debate between Ana Kasparian of the Young Turks and Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks surrounding the discussion of George Stephanopoulos and ABC having to settle the lawsuit with Donald Trump. So before we get into this with Ana Kasparian, I want to go ahead and ask you all, if you enjoyed what's being shared in this video, go ahead and smash the like button, share the video far across social media, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
George Stephanopoulos said at the time of that interview with Nancy Mace was inaccurate. And so at that point, Donald Trump pounced on it and filed a lawsuit against ABC News. And so rather than really fight the defamation case, which by the way, had gotten to a point where they were gonna do, what is it called when you're depositions? They were about to do depositions. ABC News decides, let's settle it instead. As part of the settlement, ABC will pay the $15 million to the Trump Presidential Library, which currently only exists online, plus another $1 million in Trump's attorney fees, court records show. That $1 million is to be paid by George Stephanopoulos himself. And the network also added a note to the online story about the interview, noting that both ABC and Stephanopoulos regret the comments. Now look, this has made members of the media, legal experts, and liberal pundits very upset because they feel that this sets a terrible precedent for the press. So Democratic attorney Mark Elias wrote, knee bent, ring kissed, another legacy news outlet chooses obedience. Reporter Oliver Willis argued on Threads that this is actually how democracy dies. MSNBC legal analyst Barbara McQuaid believes that this settlement will have a chilling effect on the media. And I think that those predictions might be correct because now we're hearing that Donald Trump is in fact emboldened and is now planning on filing lawsuits against pollsters, lawsuits against CBS, Bob Woodward, the Des Moines Register. In fact, here he is talking about Ann Seltzer's Iowa poll leading up to the election, which was pretty ridiculous, but suing her over it sounds a little crazy. Let's watch.
I'm doing this not because I want to. I'm doing this because I feel I have an obligation to. I'm going to be bringing one against the people in Iowa, their newspaper, which had a very, very good pollster who got me right all the time. And then just before the election, she said I was going to lose by 3 or 4 points, and it became the biggest story all over the world.
So look, I am worried about the chilling effect on the press. Now, the press should be careful and you shouldn't be sloppy and you should go out of your way to be accurate. But the other thing is, look, in order to win a defamation suit, the person filing the suit would have to prove actual malice, meaning that the Trump team would have to prove that George Stephanopoulos knowingly lied and kept saying that he was found liable of rape. And so I don't know why they decided to, Okay, go ahead, since you know.
Yeah, so look, do I know for a fact, do I have by saying their internal documents? Of course not. But my significant guess here is that they were going to go to deposition and discovery.
Here's the thing. If you don't have all the facts and stuff, don't care what kind of media organization you are, don't say the facts that you may not know of, even if you think you know you have the idea and stuff. And it's like, I wouldn't even really place this on George Stephanopoulos and stuff, not all of it, but mostly should also go towards, ABC News, because of the fact that, they let him say that about Trump. And the fact of the matter is he had to pay because he said it. He also believes it, but he was also told by ABC News to go ahead and put that out there. All right. And this is what happens when the left, including the left-wing media and everything, go out and say there's false inaccuracies about Trump. And Ana Kasparian did call them out on that, and basically Ana Kasparian said that Donald Trump does have the right to go ahead and sue, but they did mediate and stuff, and that's when they came to this result. So yeah.
And Stephanopoulos was going to testify the next day, and they didn't want that. And they did, and that's the real reason they settled, not because they're going to lose, but because they have damaging things that would be found out in discovery. And so probably about completely other topics, right? So they did this as a way to cover their own ass, but it damned us all. And I'm going to explain why it damned us all. But first of all, on how easy it would have been to win the case. So let me read to you something from CNN. A judge concluded in August 2023, when dismissing Trump's countersuit against Carroll, that the claim that Trump raped Carroll was, quote, substantially true. The judge wrote that Trump, quote, raped her in the broader sense of that word, as people generally understand it, though not as it is narrowly defined by New York state law. So what Anna read you about New York state law is true, and that would have been helpful to Trump in his case. But the judge in the other case, again, about the same issue of Carroll, when Trump countersued, said, yes, brother, but that's what people normally call rape. It's just that New York has this weird law where they don't call it rape. So you're going to try to win this countersuit against Carroll defaming you based on this technicality in New York law, and it's never going to fly. I dismiss your case.
So I have a counter to the point that you're making, because typically with these types of defamation suits, especially if the individual filing the suit is a public figure like Donald Trump is, the judge tosses it out.
Yeah.
Because it's incredibly difficult to prove actual malice.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a reason why the judge didn't toss it out.
No.
And decided to pursue it all the way to the point where they were about to do depositions.
So let me be clear about that. That's not exactly right, Anna. So in the first layer, before you get a deposition and discoveries, the judge is not allowed to consider factual matters, okay? So it can't decide, hey, is it fair to say that it was defamation based on the use of the word rape or not? They can't make that decision. They can only make the decision on matters of law in the beginning. So what this judge is saying is, by law, it's not clear, because New York says that's not rape, everyone else on planet Earth says it is. So I can't make a ruling on that. Now we're gonna have to go to trial for me to make a ruling on that. So it's actually a very normal thing that the judge did. So that's not the issue. The issue is ABC's reaction to that normal ruling. What they should do normally is go forward with the trial and then win in the trial and dismiss this absurdity, right? But they didn't want something to be revealed about themselves, so they chickened out and said, oh, okay, we bow to you, we surrender to you, and decided to give in. Now,
Cenk claims this is surrendering to them, where he states that ABC News should have went on ahead with the trial and stuff to challenge it and try to win. But the thing is, it's actually proven that that's not what he was being, I mean, he might have been accused of it, but that's not what he was charged with, okay? And the fact of the matter is that, like, other things that would lead up to that particular assault and stuff, like, it wasn't in court. There was no evidence of it. And basically, Trump has a case on him where, and ABC News saw that, even George Stephanopoulos saw that, and that's why they had to go through the mitigation instead of taking it to trial. Now, I'm not sure. I'm hoping this is Cenk playing devil's advocate, but Ana Kasparian is about to go ahead and give him some, a little bit of pushback, I would say. But let's see what more that Cenk has to say and what Ana Kasparian will also address.
Guys, remember, number one, the issue of the definition of rape is certainly in question here. And number two is they would have to prove malice. That is massively in question, right? Et cetera. But also for our purposes, the most important thing is, because of this terrible, awful precedent, now every time anyone in media criticizes any politician, they're gonna get to say defamation, okay? And now, and remember this, guys, this is so important. The defamation charges, even if they're preposterous, forces you to spend a lot of money on lawyers. So I think this could hurt independent media way more than it hurts corporate media.
Yep.
Because corporate media throws away $15 million like it's nothing, right? Now, again, it doesn't matter if you're right wing or left wing. If you're a right winger, we're like, yeah, Trump got him. There you go, fake news. Yes, until they sue Charlie Kirk and they sue Joe Rogan and they sue all these guys and go, hey, and
well, those folks,
and hey, Mitch McConnell or Nancy Pelosi or Joe Biden can say, hey, you said I had dementia. That's a technical legal definition, and I don't fit that definition. That's it. There you go, Theo Von, whoever else.
Yeah,
you're all going to get sued. You're all going to owe me money.
This does open a Pandora's box for sure. And also keep in mind that some independent media outlets, like I would be shocked if Charlie Kirk didn't have insurance. And by the way, I wanted to bring insurance up as well, because oftentimes media outlets have insurance for these types of lawsuits. That way they're not bankrupt if they lose a lawsuit, right? And so what tends to happen is the insurance companies, yes, they provide protection. If they tend to lose a lawsuit or whatever, the insurance company will provide the coverage. But insurance companies also pressure news organizations to settle. That's another thing.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So that leads to the second giant problem, which is self-censorship. Now, we're strong here and we don't do it, right? And we don't cave into any kind of stuff like this.
Now, the fact of the matter is that ABC News saw that, George Stephanopoulos was wrong with what he said. Ana Kasparian says that Trump, it was right to go forward and stuff, and Ana Kasparian, Cenk can define what that word is, and as well as what constitutes that word. All they want to, but the fact of the matter is that wasn't even brought up in a case. That wasn't really on file as a part of the trial. That's not what there weren't any police reports filed for that in the first place either. I'm guaranteed this is probably some sort of ploy against the Democrat, like from the Democrat Party against Trump and stuff, to prevent him from running for president. But as you all know, Trump won the presidency. He's president-elect, Mr. 47th president, and yeah, there's not much that they can do about it. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have in this particular topic. If you enjoy what was shared in this video, go ahead and smash the like button, share the video far wide across social media. And if you haven't done so already, enjoy the other content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notifications so that way you're notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.